Hello, everybody. Welcome. Oh, I'm going to turn my volume up a little bit here. Here we go. Welcome to the D-Pad. I'm Rick. This is our look at this year's Pokémon Presents. My camera's not in the usual spot for... It's always weird for the reaction videos, because so I'm on the right side of the screen right here. But, like, if I want to look to the right, to you guys' left, it means that, like, the camera's got to be in a weird spot compared with the actual video bit. It's a whole thing. We've got about a minute to go before this gets started. I do technically have a bingo card that I put together of just random stuff that could be in here. But also, word on the street is that this is going to be less than 13 minutes. So it's either going to be the world's most milquetoast business update for the brand, or it's going to be like, here's 2 or 3 things, and also here's some kind of I'd be surprised. Oh, thank you. I probably am still in. I'm probably still in the recording setup that I have. Yep, for when I do switch stuff. Hang on a sec. Okay, that should be better. I don't remember the last time they haven't had like any kind of announcement. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's so loud. Shit. There we go. Oh, and I slid it out of place. That's good. And I turned the thing off. We're doing great. If I'm just going to, like, refresh that now that I've completely fucked that up. I love how XSplit is not capable of doing this in a nice, clean way. All right. Is it super loud still? The worst part is, I'm going to let it be loud because it almost always quiets down afterwards. The classic YouTube starting thing is always like super loud. Yeah, I'm betting there's gonna... Did that just jump forward like a shitload? Am I crazy? Okay. Oh my god. Well, let's see what we got. My center square was some kind of Scarlet Violet event, like, oh, here's a Pokemon you can catch, whatever. Oh, Oh, it's out of order. I was like, what's... Hey, a bunch of unknowns. They're doing the Game Boy themes. Let's see what we got here. If they're going to announce anything, my bet is...
Hello, everyone.
a
Pokémon Company. February 27th.
Legends Celebi or something. Okay, I have to turn this up.
That the Pokémon Red and Pokémon Green games
Oh my god.
were first released in Japan. Our adventures with Pokémon, which
No.
started
Oh
with the simple
god.
fun of collecting, trading,
Why is this
and
being the
battling
worst?
in the Pokémon Red and Pokémon Green games have expanded to fit into so many facets of daily life,
There we
including
go.
walking and sleeping. We'll keep challenging ourselves to create new ways to enjoy Pokémon, and we hope
There we
you'll
go.
continue your adventures with us. Today, we will be bringing you all the latest news about Pokémon, including our
I
newest
don't-
titles. Mr. Utsunomiya, please
In
take it
order...
over.
Mr. Anomia. Great.
Hello, I'm Utsunomiya.
In
from
order,
the
I think the
Pokémon
likeliest
Company.
things would be a Legend
I hope
Celebi,
everyone has enjoyed their
Deep
adventures
Black
in
Vast
Pokémon
White,
Scarlet and Pokemon Violet games so far.
Let's Go
To
Johto,
commemorate Pokemon,
Gen 4.
we've
I don't
planned a
think Gen
series
4 is
of
happening.
Terra Raid battle events.
Terra Raid
where
battle
you can
events.
Face off against a mighty Venusaur,
So there's
Blastoise,
our...
and Charizard.
There's our center
First of
square.
these Terra Raid battle events will begin tomorrow. We hope you will all enjoy these raids. Today,
Pretty much
I'd also like
that
to
was a
share the
guarantee.
latest updates on a number of our other games. Please have a look at this.
All right, let's see what we got. Oh. That's one for Pokemon Go as
A
well.
collaboration event with Pokemon Go is on its way.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that there's a new anime continuation now.
Pikachu wearing Cap's hat is making its debut. It even knows an attack new to Pokemon Go, Volt Tackle.
Oh, the move is new to Pokemon Go. I was like, that's not a new
Charcadet,
move.
Armor Rouge, and Ceruledge are coming too. And Liko and Roy will be dropping in when you snap a pick and go snapshot. So set
Okey
out
doke.
on an adventure with your new friends.
Okay, I mean, neat, I suppose. I didn't put a square down for the anime. I probably should have. Pokemon Sleep, that's also on there. Where is that? Yeah, it's down in the... We're actually doing pretty good on getting a line going here. Unfortunately, getting this one would require 2 separate Gen 2 things to happen, which I don't see as very likely. Sweet, Pokemon, the LP. Hi. More Gen 2. Just saying. They've been leaning into 2 and 5 a lot lately. I think we're at some point, I suppose, going to be seeing some Gen 2, Gen 5 going on. Okay. Pokemon Masters EX. That is another of our corner squares. So we're doing all right there so far.
We're just getting started. We're
The rival from Gen 2,
You're the greatest
Silver.
and strongest partner I could ask for. Fight!
Someone got hired to be the voice of Silver, so that's not nothing. Oh, and Gita too. All right. I was just telling Sarah about the whole deal with Silver and why Celebi makes a great next Legends thing, considering it time travels people in order to see his sad backstory. Pokemon Cafe Remix is the 4th and final corner spot. I guess I picked him pretty well. We got Rhythm Heaven games now. Okay. Cute. I gotta try that sometime. I've never actually played Pokemon Cafe. Wow, we're ripping through these announcements. Pokemon Unite, also on the list. That's where we're at with that right now. That one was a little bit more of a long shot for me. I wasn't sure if we were going to see... We haven't seen a lot of news on Pokemon Unite. Alright. Oh shit, Phalanx. Okay. Oh, so yeah, you gotta get a motorcycle license to use Miraidon. Ripping through them quick. We're flying. Oh, you know what? I also had a square in here with anything with visible pixels, and since we already got that bit of Heart Gold, Soul Silver, I think that one would count. All right, what do we got here? Pokemon Milk! Pokemon Milk and Pokemon Chocolate, the next generation. Oh, trading card game. That is on my list. Alrighty. Oh, is it a TCG app now? Oh boy, this makes me sad. So basically, Pokemon has realized that there's a huge market for pack opening media and content, and they're like, how about we do that as an app so that we can have people give us money for not owning a thing? It'd be nice if, I want to say Wizards of the Coast was doing something where you could turn your actual collection into a digital one and play online. Like, I don't hate this, to be clear. It's just like, yeah, duh. It's like, I don't know. I guess this is all right. I'm a little worried that this is going to get. Oh. Oh, okay. Sorry. That was like, it seemed like they were leaning into a thing there, and it was just like, nah, never mind. Okay. Trading card game Pocket. All right. Wait, so does that mean In Japan, is it like Pocket Monster Pocket?
What you just saw was the world's
Okay, I was
first
like, did they
look at
forget
Pokémon
to
trading card
dub
game
this?
Pocket. This game lets you easily collect Pokemon cards, which players all over the world have enjoyed since they debuted in 1996, but in
Okay.
a new digital format. The Pokémon Company is developing this game as a three-party collaboration with Creatures Inc., the creators of the Pokémon trading card game, and DNA, our partners in the development of Pokémon Masters EX.
Okay, I'm gonna say I was like,
Mark the launch
I
of this
recognize
title.
DNA,
Here's a
but
message from Mr. Yuji Kitano, President and CEO of Creatures. Mr. Kitano,
Alright.
take it away.
Creatures Inc. also
I'm Yuji
helped out with the
Kitano
early
from Creatures
games
Inc.
and I think Earthbound, didn't
I'd
they?
like to start by thanking everyone for enjoying the Pokemon trading card game. With Pokemon trading card game Pocket, we hope to bring you all a new way to enjoy
Creatures,
the
if
Pokemon
Creatures
trading card
was
game.
was
So we
the
are
mother
hard at work
series, been a
developing
big week
digital
for
cards.
the last week's been a big week for them with Mother 3
When we
coming to
develop physical
Japanese Switch
cards,
Online.
We strive to please by taking great care with our paper quality, colors, and printing process.
This is an interesting
Since
moment we're
this
having
game
here.
uses mobile devices rather than paper, we're challenging ourselves to express that care in new ways that are only possible digitally.
I'm just looking at the time and I'm like, oh
Such
no,
as
this
using
wasn't the highlight
characteristics
of
screen to
the
show off brilliant
of the
colors and
presentation,
stylish
is it?
effects.
Like it's cool, but
One way we're accomplishing this is with immersive cards, which give players the experience of leaping into the world of the card.
this I do
illustration.
like. This is kind of cute.
What's more, we've developed new streamlined game rules based on our existing battle system, so you can enjoy a quick battle during the free moments in your day.
Honestly, a digital version, so you don't have to be doing counter, math and all
Our
that
three companies
stuff. That was a
are all
long
working
pause.
hard to deliver a fun experience
Counter
for
math
those
and
of
doing
you
all the
who already
manual
enjoy the Pokemon trading
checks
card
and things
game,
on there is
as
kind of
well as
nice.
those who've never played before.
We also
We
fix.
hope you look forward to the results of our latest efforts in
that?
the world of the Pokemon trading card game, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you, Mr. Kitano. We plan to launch Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket within 2024.
Okay.
Please look forward to more details in the future. Just one more thing. We'd like to end today's
Just one, huh?
presentation with one final video for you all.
Okay, what's it gonna be?
Thank you
It's gotta
for
be
tuning in.
something big, some teaser. The successor to Ape Inc. That's right. Yes. Thought that said sequel for a second, but no. Soeyue. Wait, was that the thing? Okay. Oh. Oh my god, did I get the... One of my things on the list was a Detective Pikachu thing, too. Oh, is this gonna be like a Pokemon life sim? If they did a full-fledged Pokemon MMO or something, that would be pretty goddamn big news. Oh, them running past Zamazenta Zacian. Didn't recognize that one. That looked almost like a Furfrou, but it might have been a new thing. Gyarados, we got a Dragonair in the back. Aegis Slash versus what, a Sylveon? Yeah. See Pinsir Heracross, Onix. That looks an awful lot like Unova. Sorry, not Unova. Kalos. Are they? Yeah. Uh-huh. Interesting. Oh, well, we got Pokemon Legends Z. Oh my god, they're actually doing a Pokemon Z. Delta? I think? Pokemon Z-Delta? That's a really confusing logo. All right, you know what? That is not what I was expecting. I was not expecting us to be headed to Kalos for the next Pokemon Legends outing. Huh. Okay. All right. So that's interesting, because that definitely looked... So, okay. Because at first I was like, oh, they're doing some kind of futuristic-looking thing, but actually it looks like they're doing, like, here is the early days of modern Kalos. Like, it seems like we're not necessarily going back, like, 150 years, maybe more like 50 years. But we're actually getting a Pokemon Z, which is hilarious given, like, everything. Because so Pokemon X and Y, I think, turn 10 this year, don't they? Or is that next year? No, they already turned 10. They turned 10 last October. That's an interesting thing. Yeah, I guess, because, right, the backstory, if you were going to do a Pokemon Legends game, they already have a built-in thing, but that's like 3,000 years ago. And clearly, Lumio City has not been standing there for 3,000 years. Very interesting. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the past. It could just be, hey, it would be very funny if the Pokemon Legends series became, hey, we're looking at stuff that has gone unexplained, just generally. I'm also going to just bring up the thing here. I can't in good conscience click on Legends Celebi. Like, I can't do that because we didn't get it, but we certainly got a Legends game. Huh. Okay. All right. And I don't think any of the rest of these actually went through, so we'll just get rid of that. Yeah, it seems like the idea is it's going to focus on just Lumio City in general and the outside world. And I mean, helpfully, Kalos has its 3 regions, so it'll make it very easy for them to expand out from that. Honestly, if they made it such that it was big enough that it's like, oh, here's it doesn't have to be 3 times as big or anything like that, but, like, you know, make it a little bigger than Arceus. Maybe there's 2 or 3 areas per each of the 3 regions, kind of thing, or something. Dang. All right. Okay. Props for that being unpredictable. I want to see if there's an official name that was given to that title, because I'm seeing Pokemon Legends ZA from Celebi on Twitter. Yeah, Pokemon Legends ZA. And features the return of Mega Evolution, which is like, I've been begging for Mega Evolution to come back. Easily the best of the gimmicks, in my opinion. I think terrestrialization is, like, okay, but it's a little bit too broad and unpredictable. Mega Evolution is a sorely underutilized gimmick. It gave an excuse to have a just wackadoo new evolution that doesn't require a whole lot of, like, it doesn't need as much balancing as the rest, as some, like, new evolutions and regional forms and all of that. I'm curious if we're going to get Colossian regional forms in some capacity. That'd be kind of interesting. I don't think we will, just because we got Kalos in full already, but I don't know. But yeah, a full Lumio City would be great. Yeah, interesting. Man, that is a really interesting... hang on 1 second. I'm just going to... No... Yeah, it took me a second on the tower, because I was like, oh yeah, big cities and things, and then, you know, you got spots in Unova that kind of have that vibe to it. And then it's like, wait, hang on a second. But honestly, seeing Sylveon and Aegislash and stuff probably should have been the first real hint there that we might be going to Kalos. Huh. We got Sinnoh in full, but we already got Hisuian forms. Yes, but we had already gotten... I guess Alola was the first one that did regional forms. I was going to say, we got Sinnoh in full, but we didn't... But at the time, regional forms didn't exist. Same thing with Kalos, though. There were no Kalosian forms thus far. So it is certainly possible we might have some kind of thing there. No, just like tall buildings in general. Once it was on there for a second, I was like, whoa, wait a second. Wait, no, that looks more like the tower from Gen 6. Whew, okay, all right. So of course, as we're in the midst of wrapping up Pokemon Legends Arceus right now. So I mean we got probably a year, if not more. I think Legends Arceus launched in January of 2021. I think that's what it was, 2021. So it's been certainly a couple years there. It might be an early year thing. Looking forward to, I think we're going to probably do that more or less the same way we did Legends Arceus, really. Just play through and see what there is. I'll be curious if there is a complete Pokedex thing you have to do in order to reach the final end of that, the same way you do in Legends Arceus. Just looking at the logo real quick. One, it's a very interesting choice because I'm trying to remember how in Pokemon Legends Arceus, the Pokemon logo had like a pale, teal almost color to it. This one's more of a pale, kind of pinkish color, which is kind of interesting. But then you got the Z, which has those hex scales from Zygarde. And I guess the leafy A on there reminds me a little bit of Zygarde as well, but I'm trying to think if there's something else that might allude to that I'm forgetting. I sure hope I don't know. I'll be very curious to see what this one winds up being. I'm just trying to think through Gen 6 in terms of the most pivotal Pokemon in there. It's going to be double interesting because X and Y, I think, are the only games in the entire franchise of core games not to have any kind of follow-up at all, right? Because of the first 4 gens, we had third games. We had, Yellow, we had Crystal, we had Emerald, we had Platinum. Black and White had a full sequel, Black and White 2. Sun and Moon had Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Sword and Shield and Scarlet Violet had DLC that kind of filled out what would normally be a third thing slot. But X and Y didn't have a sequel. They didn't have a third game. They didn't have any real follow-up. So it's not like we're going to have a situation like Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, or even Arceus, where it's like, oh, are they going to pull more from the core games? Or are they going to pull from... the third game, or are we going to be missing some in there? So, I would assume that, Xerneas and Yveltal will be involved in some way. I guess the biggest thing that's kind of a question mark would be, so I think X and Y, was it X and Y that had, Hoopa and all of that stuff? I want to see... Hang on one second. I want to see if I can find... There we go. Kalos Dex. I just want to scroll through this real quick. I'm curious what the starters will be. If they follow suit from... oh no, Hoopa might have been Sun and Moon. If they follow suit from Arceus, then they'll probably have different starters that were not... didn't have any plot relevance. Maybe they could do something here. Is Hoopa? I don't think is in. Oh no, it is right there. God, it's in such a weird order on here. Oh yeah, Diancie also. and Volcanion. Yeah, I'll be very curious to see what kind of stuff they wind up doing with this. Or hell, maybe you've got 3 separate Pokedexes or something. They could honestly, they could take a page from Scarlet Violet and have there be 3 separate things going on in each of those regions. And those are your 3 main quests, and you've got dexes that you're doing all 3 of them with or something. I don't know. Who's responsible for all the old legends showing up through rings but never staying in it? Oh, yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, though, because when you fight like legendaries that aren't really supposed to be there, especially ones that are from like the future, they appear through those like golden rings, right? Yeah, I think they really should do other starters, like other starters, but also other forms for those starters. Which at that point, you more or less guarantee there has to be some kind of Colossian regional form. What could they use for that? I guess they could do any of. Well, so all right, hang on a second. I just want to pull up the list of starter Pokemon. Do they just have them in like a grid somewhere? It would just make it really easy to look at. Oh, they're making it so annoying and difficult. Just show me the list, please. There we go. There's a good set. So yeah, we now have 9. So we have 9 sets of starters. They presumably aren't going to do if they change them, right? They're not going to do the Colossian starters the same way Hisui didn't have the Sinnohan starters. So that brings us down to 8 sets to work with. They probably aren't going to just reuse the Hisuian ones either. And those were completely none of the 3 of those were the Kalos starters. That brings us down to 7 sets. I don't think they're going to do Gen 1 is my guess, which brings us down to 6. So I don't know. They could do some interesting stuff. And I think, and they didn't just do ones that were before, because Oshawott was Gen 5, Cyndaquil was Gen 2, Rowlet was Gen 7 for 4. I'll have to make some predictions at some point for what the for what these starters are going to be. But I mean, it's basically a shot in the dark. It's like rolling 3 d6s and hoping you just get the right answer with that. Because they could do any of those. No announcement on any kind of Gen 10, so this would be the limit of those. Would be presumably that set of 6. I'll be really surprised if they do the Gen 1 starters at all, like any of them. Partly because because in X and Y you also get the Gen 1 starters as part of the storyline, or you get a starter, so that would feel a little bit off. I would love Totodile to get some love in there. I guess the real question is you got to look at the final evolutions and see which ones have the most room for a weird regional form, right? So there could be some interesting stuff there. But yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know if I want to make a wild guess. And actually, not just that. Now that I think about it, it's not just that we're going to potentially have a new regional form. Maybe they might not have a regional form and instead have a brand new like Mega Evolution that they didn't have before, right? So the ones that had Mega Evolution before were what? Gen 1, Gen 3, Gen 6? And I think that's it. I don't think any of the others got Mega Evolutions. Yeah, I don't think any from Gen 7 got Mega Evolutions. Gen 6 stars didn't get. Oh, did they not get? Wait. Oh, you're right. They did not get Megas, which is kind of weird in hindsight. So yeah, just Gen 1, Gen 3. And Gen 3 just got them for Ruby Sapphire. So yeah, I think then that they will probably avoid Gen 3 also, because they will want to give new Mega Evolutions to stuff. They could arguably do the Colossian starters again with possibly some new third form, but definitely giving them mega evolutions at last. That's the thing, right? There is an existing past lore. It's going to be the same thing as Arceus. Arceus had the whole thing about Celestica, this even further back time that we didn't really get to see. They're going to do the same thing here. It's going to be like, oh, well, this area was previously hit by this crazy nuke 3,000 years in the past, so 2,900 years in the past. But I don't think we're going far enough back, what with the construction of Lumio City, for us to see the nuke, unfortunately. So what we're probably looking at is some combination of Gen 2, Gen 4, maybe? I think with Diamond having just happened, it might be like Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and also Legends Arceus, even though those, all three of them are in there. Gen 4 is like less likely. I think then Gen 2, Gen 5, Gen 7, 8, and 9 are the likeliest ones to get pulled from. And all three of those already have one Pokemon that have been used in the past. So that gives us 4 grass, fire, and water Pokemon that are like the most realistic ones to pull from. So for grass, the most likely options are Chikorita, Snivy, Grookey, and Sprigatito. For fire, we have Tepig, Litten, Scorbunny, and Fuecoco. And for water, we have Totodile, Popplio, Sobble, and Quaxley. I would not be surprised if they also didn't do Gen 9 because that one is so fresh. So we may have it down to like 3-ish now. So Chikorita, Snivy, Grookey, Tepig, Litten, Scorbunny, Totodile, Popplio, Sobble. There's also the possibility that they try to focus on ones that were not already on the Switch. Because for Hisui, the furthest one in was Rowlet, which was a 3DS Pokemon, the last 3DS grass starter. So now maybe we've got it down to fewer. Maybe grass is Chikorita or Snivy. Fire is Tepig or Litten. Water is Totodile or Popplio. I'd be willing to believe that we've got it narrowed down to 2 options for each of these. Somebody please remember this for later when we come down. I'm curious if we're actually like narrowing this down. So Chikorita, Snivy, Tepig, Litten, Totodile, Popplio. It's an interesting one. It's Popplio, when it evolves all the way, gets the fairy type normally, doesn't it? Oh, maybe that's a reason not to do it if they're going to give them new forms. Snivy's Louis the 14th. Piplup is Napoleon. Oh God. I could see Popplio's final evolution as being some French queen. I guess France has never actually had has France ever had a queen? Was Marie Antoinette? Yeah, Marie Antoinette was Queen of France. Not really the vibes I'm getting off of Primarina, but I could see them. They could maybe do a Primarina thing. And honestly, if Snivy is one that gets one, then I guess it would be a question of, but see, if grass comes from Unova and water comes from Alola with our little breakdown there, then we already did grass and water there anyway. Yeah, I'm curious if they do. Let's see, if they also want to do one from each of 3 different generations. If we've got it narrowed down to these, then okay, so Johto has a grass and a water option. Unova has a grass and a fire option, and Alola has a fire and a water option. So it would have to be Chikorita, Tepig, Poplio, or Snivy, Litten, Totodile. Now, I know which one of those I would want, and it is 100% Snivy, Litten, Totodile. Like, by a huge margin. That'd actually be a pretty fucking sick set of 3. Those are actually, like, among my 3 favorite starters across the whole franchise. Snivy, Litten, Totodile would be pretty nice. And the other one being Chikorita, Tepig, Poplio. I've already made my thoughts on Chikorita clear before. Tepig I'm generally fine with. I like Tepig well enough. Poplio's okay. I like Poplio. Yeah, I'm gonna. All right. I think it's gonna be one of those 2. My hope is Snivy, Litten, Totodile. It is the same 3 generations that they used for Hisui, though. So, like, some of the logic being used here is potentially flawed, but trying to whittle it down. Second place is Chikorita, Tepig, Poplio. First place is Snivy, Litten, Totodile. So those are my calls. Now, I don't hate Gen 3. I just think they're going to not use Gen 3 because they've already done Mega Evolution with those before. The alternative is they bring one or all 3 of them back to give them a new, like, regional Mega Evolution or something, which feels a little weird. But I think they're going to avoid ones they've already given Mega Evolution to. I'm curious if I'm betting that the what was it? Not Totem Pokemon. The ones that you have to fight in Arceus as, like, big battles. I assume they're going to have them be Mega Pokemon that are doing that. I'm curious what this game's version of, like, space-time distortions might be, like weird rare shit in Kalos. Because I forget if XY did anything to do with, like, dimensional stuff. I can't remember. There was the canon, which I had theorized for a while as, like, if they wanted to really tie stuff together, the canon could have been so intense energy-wise that it created, like, a wormhole kind of thing. Charmander and Mega... I really hope they don't. I'm sure that there will be a Charizard. I'm sure that there will be a Charmander line, and I'm sure that there will be Charizard in there. But I hope they don't. Or, at the very least, give Venusaur and Blastoise a second one to match, But a Mega Charizard Z seems extremely likely. I'm curious if there'll be I was gonna say if there's gonna be a Mewtwo Z, since they were so intense on the Mega Mewtwo X and Y before, but, like, Mewtwo makes so little sense in Kalos unless they're gonna tie that in with Gen 1 that firmly. Cards of the 5 Megas have never got any. Oh, geez. But yeah, that's gonna be my call. Is Snivy, Litten, Totodile, and that's more of a wishful thinking, fingers crossed kind of deal than anything else, because those 3 are excellent, and I think that there's a good enough amount of logic as to how we might get there. Yeah. Hell, I might write up a little scripty thing and do a video to make my call on that. We'll see. But yeah, some pretty decent announcements in there. I mean, some standard stuff: Pokemon Go, Pokemon Cafe Remix, Pokemon Sleep, Pokemon Masters EX, Silver coming to Pokemon Masters EX is continuing to lean in on Johto. Johto and Unova keep getting leaned in on. I guess my call for Legends Celebi is not happening. Obviously, they're not going to just immediately do another Legends thing. But maybe Legends Celebi would be too close to Legends Arceus, which I'd understand. Because the whole thing with the Johto region is It's supposed to be like what the Kansai region, I think, and which is a very like historical, area in real Japan as well as in the world of Pokemon. And like I could see that feeling a little too close to just doing Legends Arceus again. I think it's rife with interesting lore there that could be explored sometime. Came with Mega Tyranitar. Okay, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think Legend Celebi is probably off the table. Maybe permanently. If we do see something like that, it'll be like a 2027 kind of deal. No word on Gen 10, though honestly I wasn't expecting it. It's too early. We just got Scarlet and Violet at the end of 2022, so it's pretty early still for Gen 10. I think next February we're probably going to get Let's Go Johto or Gen 5 remakes. Or, since they are apparently going for weird unexpected shit, I mentioned it recently on, I think, the Scarlet Violet stream, they could do a Black and White 3. Make it a distant sequel. Make it take place 10 years later or something. Black and White 3 would be pretty rad. But Deep Black, Vast White, I think, is maybe the most likely big announcement for next year. And I think 2026 we're likely to see Gen 10. I think that makes the most sense. It's the 30th anniversary of the series. They're going to want a big show-stopping announcement for that. The alternative is they do Gen 10 next year, and for the 30th they have some huge, like, similarly game-sized DLC announcement or something. Yeah, I hope that it gets the same level of care and attention that Arceus got. Arceus is like unironically, I think, the best Pokemon experience I've had since Black and White. Maybe that's not fair. X and Y I really did like. In terms of like really expanding the game to something unexpected, I think X and Y and Legends Arceus are probably the two that are the most like side by side in that. With I would say Scarlet Violet just behind. I think Scarlet Violet has a tendency to feel a little bit too big for the content that's in it at times. But yeah, Legends Arceus is great. It is basically the game that I feel like we've all wanted Pokemon to be for a very long time. Actually running around, actually getting into scrapes with Pokemon, just catching stuff, like sneaking up and going, bing, hey, I got it. Like, all that stuff is great. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on that. I'll probably have some kind of a prediction thing for Legends ZA. Honestly, maybe, tomorrow. I don't think I'll have one today, but I think I want to throw something together quickly while the discussion is still hot. But yeah, I don't know. I think we're in a good spot there. I think Legends is going to be great. I'm very happy to see they're doing another one. I'm very curious what the gist of this one's going to be. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be curious to see what we wind up doing from there. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments. I'm going to be throwing this will go up automatically onto YouTube later today, presumably. I'm going to get out of here, and I'll catch you guys later. I'm doing some Persona 4 tonight. Hope to see you guys there. Bye.